All right, everybody, welcome to episode 4 of the Squatch and Yeti Show. I'm Squatch,
Yeah, I'm Yeti.
and here we are for episode 4.
4 episodes, huh?
We've been having a bit of a crazy week. Don't know if any of y'all know, but Yeti here, he's been working on his GED, been getting his test knocked out.
Yeah. It's great. It's been a little taxing on the old brain power, but it's been good. Tests were actually a lot easier than I thought, although I thought I bombed them as well. But here we sit. I passed them, so
We are
Pretty
all
stoked.
our own biggest critic, worst critic.
yeah, I'm learning that one.
While we're talking about Yeti, for my random Squatch
What is
Bigfoot
it?
fact of the day,
Your Bigfoot facts?
I actually have one about Yetis right now.
Oh, God.
Looked up online, and apparently during the Cold War, the American and Soviet teams, it says, both embarked in 1958 on organized hunts for Yetis. It is now an international race for the Yeti, said cryptozoologist Gerald Russell, who led the U.S. campaign.
So what you're saying is I'm hated by both U.S. and Soviet people?
We'll see. What I'm seeing is that, you Yetis, could bring us together, the Russians and the Americans. You could end the war.
I would be another war. That's what it sounds like to me. Because then they're going to be like, all right, well, the Soviets just won the war against the Yeti race. I mean, that sounds terrible when you say it out loud. So, anyway.
All cryptozoology aside, this last week I had put some feelers out on a Facebook group I'm in about mental health, and I was like, hey, so what would you guys want to hear about? And one of the group members he'd been having some problems, and he talked about self-love. And so, we've had our own battles with that for sure. Not referring to the self-love you do on a Friday night with your tissue box. That's a different kind of podcast. But
Yeah, everybody uses a tissue box, okay? We got some people out there that uses socks. I mean,
don't leave your crusty socks in mom's laundry basket, though.
yeah, don't do that. She knows what's happening. Like you ain't starching, okay? We know you ain't starching. I should say not that we know. I'm just saying, like, your mom knows that you're not using starch.
Right off the back with masturbation jokes.
I was gonna be like, oh, this is prelude this into another topic of like, oh, it's May, it's mental health awareness, but let's not do that after just made a masturbation joke. That leaves. No, I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna say it leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
Wow, wow.
I think I broke Squatch.
I've been broken for years.
I see you got new shoes.
I do, man. Etnies.
Etnies, I don't know what that means.
It's a skate shoe that I was too poor to afford as a child.
I'm still too poor to afford.
They sell them at Walmart now. That's the reason I got them. They're part of their Go Green
What do you
campaign. So
I was gonna say,
buying these shoes, I help fund like a rainforest or something like that.
I think you probably didn't fund a rainforest. You probably
I helped with something with the green stuff in the world. Okay, so
not marijuana for anybody else out there thinking of that.
I've monetarily helped with that plenty of times in my past. But
in circumstances, I'm pretty sure somebody.
sorry, Mom. Sorry to put this out there, but
we don't condone. We're not saying it's okay. We're just saying, like, sometimes people have their habits. Okay. Disclaimer now. We don't promote anything unless we get a sponsor. There's a sponsor out there listening. I mean, we could probably use it.
we are down for any and all sponsorships.
Okay, make it obvious. I was getting that disclaimer. We talk about anything and everything, taboo or not, religious or not, politics or not, as we've clearly been 12-year-old child's brains over here. Weed. Masturbation joke. Anyway, here we sit. We're talking about this guy. Do you have a name for us?
I have his name. I don't know if he wants it disclosed, so I'm not gonna say
Fair
it.
enough. Fair enough. Somebody's learning about the name disclosures.
Yeah, shut up. Little anonymity. I mean, someone's reaching out for like some help that they possibly need.
Self-love, and again, not what you do on your Friday night when you're home alone. Okay.
Just Mondays. But
oh, we gotta stop that. Carry on.
We try to make this wholesome. We really are.
Self-love is definitely something that I think that this guy and a lot of people out there, hell, even us.
I think we all struggle with it.
I think this, especially with the modern day, everything, like, I'm sorry out there, but at the same time, not sorry. I kind of want to go back to the olden times, but like Marilyn Monroe, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, let's just, I'm using the female anatomy for this. I saw a while back, it was about a month or so ago, this kind of fits our topic, is the definition of a perfect female body is that of like Zendaya. I'm sorry. Those of you who know who Zendaya is, that is an actress in some of the
Mary
Marvel.
Jane.
Yeah, Mary Jane from Marvel's Spider-Man, Peter Parker. Tom Holland and her, I don't know if they're not a thing, are they anymore? But anyway,
I don't know.
There's some model out there. I didn't memorize the name. I just saw the photo of Marilyn Monroe next to this other model, and apparently in today's, self-love is you have to be bones, and you have to follow what the society wants of you, and that's not true.
See, I actually, it's funny you bring this up. I read something here a couple weeks ago. My grandfather and stuff like that, liked Marilyn Monroe and all that.
I don't blame him. I like Marilyn Monroe.
But so I remember hearing about her, and I was reading something, and they said that even, back in her day, at one point, they told her she wasn't like fit to be in the movies or whatever. But once she got in, everyone loved her.
Yeah, I mean,
and I do love the whole like breaking the beauty standards. And I like that as far as self-love goes because, the people that don't feel like they fit in or they're not good enough, when they see someone who was deemed not good enough kind of take over.
Yep, and then make it enormously huge.
Oh, for sure. Like, it does wonders for people, and I think it's good for society.
And what I was getting at with my statement was, like, it's not... I don't mean it just physical self-love, but, like, that's a mental thing, too. Like, think about the stuff that she had to go through. Like, I don't know the finer details. I'm sure there's a documentary out there somewhere or some kind of article somewhere that you can read. I haven't done it myself. Let's be fair. It might be another self-love that we need to stop joking about if I were to look at Marilyn Monroe. But... if you really think about it, like, during her time, dude, like, she had to fight tooth and nail, quite literally almost, to do what she did. It took a crap ton of self-love, physically, mentally, however other way, to get to where she wanted to be. And she inspired quite a few million people to do the same.
Yeah, I mean, you imagine going through the whole, like, for starters, man, woman... nowadays, back in the day, getting told you're not good enough.
Yeah.
That was just like, as a kid, and you're playing touch football and PE or basketball, whatever.
Getting picked last.
Yes, like.
Yeah. Yeah. You know very well, you were there on the high school playgrounds and everything. High school playgrounds. High schools have playgrounds. Jesus. Anyway, you were there when we were younger, in our youth. I was usually picked last. I mean, I wasn't good at wall ball, okay? We all know that.
Listen, wall ball was a sport you did not want to get picked for because that just meant they were throwing things at you.
True, but at the same time, you got picked to do the throwing. So,
yeah, true.
I never got picked to do the throwing. I was either up on the wall or I was sitting my big butt on the ground. So...
Yeah, I was usually on the wall because I couldn't run to the wall fast enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Easy targets.
says a lot about our childhood though that we can openly talk about playing like prison games or whatever at school.
Yeah, a little bit.
But like with the whole like not feeling good enough, I mean, I think we could go on this topic forever, really, because
For quite
we've
some
been
time.
there
We're still there.
numerous times.
I'm still there today. I tell you right now, I don't feel like I'm good enough for a lot of people, man. We just a little disclosure here before we started our episode today. I was talking to Squatch, and I got some stuff going on. I'm not gonna say what, but I feel like I'm not good enough. It just kind of coincides with today's topic. I don't feel like I'm good enough, Squatch, and at the same time, I know I'm good enough, but you can tell me that you're blue in the face. I can tell myself till I'm blue in the face until you feel it. Until you feel that you're good enough, you're not good enough. And I don't mean to contradict myself with that. And what I'm getting at is that everybody can improve on themselves, is what I'm trying to say. When you're down and you feel like you're not good enough, like how I currently do, you have to keep telling yourself. Keep telling yourself until you do realize that you are good enough.
Constantly, make sure you surround yourself with people that are going to
Yes.
tell you. I probably 20 minutes before we started this, I literally sat right here,
Yep.
telling you it's going to be okay. Like,
Yeah, and I really appreciate it, man. And that's where like I brought it up. I probably shouldn't have, but here it is. Here we are. I'm okay to talk about it because it coincides with our listener here commenting and on the whole self-love, man. Like I understand entirely. You are worth it. You are enough. You're great the way you are. Don't think otherwise. If you do, tell yourself. Have that little argument with yourself and tell yourself that you are good enough, that you are where you need to be. This is where you're supposed to be to make yourself a better you. Am I incorrect for that?
I agree with that. There, my little like interjection.
Oh, feel free. Yeah, I have a different take on it.
So one thing I can say about this stuff is like, I went through horrible stuff. Me and my ex-wife split up a couple years ago. That many guys and women can tell you that can wreck you.
Yeah.
I went through a lot of issues with self-love, and what I wound up having to do is like, I don't know if I heard it on a podcast somewhere else or whatever, but I heard it somewhere and it helped me, so I'm going to share it. And basically what I had to do, and I encourage anyone that struggles with stuff like this, when you feel that way, grab a piece of paper, your phone, whatever. I encourage piece of paper because it's all good to get away from our phones for a little bit,
Yeah.
You get on your phone to do something productive, and you wind up on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and then that all makes you feel worse.
Yep, that is true.
But you get your piece of paper or your little note app in your phone, and you break your stuff down to what you don't feel adequate about, whether it's your mental health, your financial situation, your physical situation, your relationship, your friendships, whatever it may be. And take all that, write it down, and really be honest with yourself about it. And then you take those issues, and once you have your list down, you break it into sub list of things you can change, things you can't change. Like, I know for me, one of my struggles has always been my weight. I know a lot of people can relate to that, and I remember I hated myself for it for a while, and I still struggle with it, But that was on the list of things I can change because, like, you can go to the gym, you can eat healthy. Now, in that particular scenario, the whole situation with my marriage at the time, I couldn't change that, It was done. The nail was in the final nail was in the coffin. And that was something I couldn't change. Now, the things you can't change, you just kind of got to find what makes you get at peace with it.
I was going to say, you got to find a way to just let things go. because like what you're saying with your weight, your mental place where you may find yourself at, you definitely need to find an outlet or some source to like you're saying, write it down, whatever have you. Go for a walk. Me personally, I know this is probably not the healthiest way of doing it, but I'm not gonna say like drink or do drugs. And no, not. I mean, not again, not advocating it. Not saying do it. Not saying don't do it. To each is their own. But I always toss myself into music.
Yeah.
I will throw myself into music, and usually when I'm playing music, I'm just drowning out those thoughts because I know they're not good. And some people might have other ways of doing that, going for a walk. I mean, do it. Go for a walk. Go and help clear that out of your system. I think with you, Squatch, because I know, like you just were saying with your weight, you've been going to the gym.
Yeah, there are days, like, of course, me and you work together, so
Yep.
I have a bad day at work, and there are days that between management, families, residents, whatever, coworkers, whatever it may be, just leave work so stressed. I mean, like, tensed up ball of rage, and if anything, going to the gym and just repping it out until all I can focus on is like how much I just killed myself in the gym.
Yeah, how sore you are.
And it sounds dumb and it's painful sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, but pain builds character, pain builds you into a stronger person mentally and physically. But do that or go out and hit the punching bag. I'm like you, I like to go for a walk sometimes too. I'm a little different with the music thing because sometimes I do got the earbuds in or the speakers cranked up and kind of drowning out the noise. But also other times, like, I feel like you have to you need to sit in with the noise in your head. And
say sit in with the demons that are bothering you.
You
don't like them being called demons?
No, I like it. Like I actually, I heard a song one time. I don't remember who it was by. And it was about like a guy kind of making peace with his the bad things in his head, bad things in his life, and it was called "Dancing with My Demons."
Oh,
and
I mean, we can Google this song real quick. I'm not gonna play it. I'm saying like I can Google who sang it.
Well, I want to say it was like an independent artist I saw somewhere, so I don't know if it'll be online or not.
Okay,
but anyways, I like the whole idea. Sometimes you need to sit in with your dark side and find some peace in it. And I know that scares a lot of people because we've seen so many people go to their dark side. So many of our childhood heroes went to their dark side and did not come back.
Yep.
We see things about like, is it Chester Bennington? We talk about him a lot. The dude,
said JDF, Jason David Frank, the original Green Ranger, which something always finds a way back to nostalgia. And I'm sorry for that, but that man, he had a lot of demons that he was fighting that I want to say talked to his family and friends about, and they might have known about it. They also might not have because, again, with the whole way society is, you don't talk about your feelings. Or you're on the opposite side of the spectrum and you over talk about your feelings. So, therefore, it's a damn if you do, damn if you don't situation, but that's just for society's sake.
Yeah, I think for you personally, you need to find your balance with it.
Yes, you need to find your balance. You need to, if writing it down helps, or if going for a walk helps, why can't you do both? Why not go for a walk? In that walk, find that quiet time where you can actually sit and have a conversation, so to speak, with yourself. I mean, you're not obviously sitting, you're walking, but you're with your thoughts. You're able to focus on your walk, focus on these thoughts that you're having, whether they're ill or not, and be able to, like you said, make peace with them. And then when you come home, man, write that down. Because if anything, you can use that as a, I don't want to say like a flashcard, but as a source of like, hey, I overcame this. I can do it again. And then eventually that does start helping build. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. Does that not help build your self-love? Is that repetitive action that it almost becomes second nature to you, or it becomes more of who you are at this point, wherever point you are, and you're working on yourself.
Yeah, so I mean, self-love is working on yourself
All the time.
And it's no different than going to the gym, going running, or you can even it's like playing a video game, like when you're at the gym, the more reps you get in, the stronger you get. You're on the track. The more you run every day, the easier it gets, the faster and further you can run. You play a game so many times over, you get better at it every time.
Yep. And
life, you've got to put the reps in life, whether it's for your mental health, your physical health, emotional health,
everything health, really. You gotta put the work in and get it going, and that's something that even myself, I've been doing it myself. I mean, I'm not quite where you are. I'm hoping I can get there one day.
You'll get there.
Going to the gym and whatnot. That's a mental block of a different sort. I don't like being around people, and you want to put me in a situation where I'm like sweaty and not necessarily at my most presentable. And now I'm even more like, ugh. But again, this is going with like playing with fire, or I really, can I say the quote? I want to say a quote.
Say the quote.
It's like dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight. Like you got to get into there. You just got to do it. And there's so many analogies I can use right now, but I feel like it's quite literally facing your demons. I mean, yes, for me, for instance, if I were to go to the gym, that would probably be one of my biggest fears. It's not a fear of the gym. It's not a fear of working out. Like, I have no issue with that. It's a fear of like the judgment. And
so actually with that, and whether it's the gym or maybe you want to focus on your education or stuff like that, 9 times out of 10, like, I know we get told the world is this kind of shitbox of a place.
And yeah, it's also very beautiful.
First cuss word of the podcast.
Is it though?
I'm pretty sure it is. You know, when we start doing videos, I'm just gonna like edit them where there's like a tally above each of us for every cuss word. See who wins at the end.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be some fun little mini game. Guess how many times these guys curse in this episode? Will it be 5? No, you're wrong. It was 3,000. That would be absurd. Oh, that's immediate cancellation right there.
I mean, listen, I hold back a lot of things due to cancellation.
Yeah.
But with talking about the culture, like, so I was right
Life
there with you.
Cancellation is bad. I'm sorry.
It's very bad. You can't say that and make me laugh. All 5 listeners right now are going to be like, they're the 2 most horrible people.
Oh, absolutely we are. But at the same time, that's why this is good, though, because we're not gonna sugarcoat it for you. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to, nor myself. Like, let's be honest with that, because dude, that's all the world is nowadays. And I'm sorry for people out there who maybe want to have a little frosting on their emotions, and that's fine. To each his own. But at the same time, you have the other people like myself. Tell me like it is, man. Like, just be blunt with me. Don't beat around the bush.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Yes. Like, I need that to be a thing. Like, stop playing with me, as the people would say. Like, the newer generation, you're playing with me. I can't talk like the young people nowadays.
Yeah. Anyways, when I was talking about like the gym thing and stuff, like, I was right there with you. I was terrified, and like I decided to go get a gym membership, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do it. So I go and I sign up for the gym. And like my first day, I went and signed up, and I was in shorts and a t-shirt. I'm ready to go lift and hit the treadmill, and there's like 5 people in there. I'm like, nope, come back later. Next day I come up, there's no one there. I work out for about an hour. It's cool. Get my sweat on. Next day, there's people there. So I got to where I just would not go work out when there's people there. And I finally one day was like, bro, I was telling myself, I'm like, bro, you got to get past this. And there was, I was like, okay, I'll get past it tomorrow. You know, Captain Procrastination.
Procrastinating is, as somebody who's been doing it for quite some time and just now got their GED, procrastination is a bitch. No, I was trying to find a more. I can't English now because the word's eluding me, and I'm not happy with that. Anyway,
procrastination is the enemy. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. Like, if you think it needs to be done, do it now.
Yep, that's true. Procrastination is not. It's right up there. Like, you might as well just quit, because like if you're procrastinating whatever you're doing, you've already quit.
Oh, for sure. But so after my procrastination, like my last day of procrastinating with it, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go tomorrow, whether there's people or not. I get in there, there's no one there. So I'm like, you know what? Whatever. It's a win. I came today. It's cool.
Right.
And I'm about halfway through my second workout. A couple people showed up, and I'm like, oh, crap.
Just mid workout, huh?
But like, I'm in the middle of like bench press, and this guy walks in, and I'm like, and me being a bigger dude, he's a skinny guy when he walked in. So I'm like, like immediately ashamed. And I will say, like, first probably 20 minutes, me and him were both in there, both had our earbuds in between sets, like exchange words. And by the end of the workout, like me and him, like earbuds back in our backpacks, we're working out next to each other, talking, BSing.
See, I don't know if I could do that, man. Like, I want to say I'm a hermit. At the same time, maybe I'm not so much a hermit. Well, not now, I guess. But if I were to be in your situation, I still wouldn't be talking to the guy. Like, that's just me, though. I feel
that
like,
particular guy, like, we wound up being like workout buddies, and on my mornings off,
Gotcha.
I'd always go work out, and he'd happen to be there. Got to talking to him. Happened
to be there. Yeah.
I found out I used to work with like his daughter and stuff like that, and
so he already knew about you.
Well, he didn't know. Like, I heard his last name, and I'm like, wait a minute, is so and so your daughter? And he's like, yeah. How do you know her? I was like, oh, we work together. And he's like, oh, right on, you know, and like just really good friends for a while after that. And then like, actually, I met someone at the gym one day. This girl was in there. And as a dude, when I'm alone in the gym with a girl, I don't make eye contact. I'm not, hey, how's it going? Head down back to my set, because if you follow, well, you are on TikTok or anything, period, you'll see all the, quote, gym creep videos. I follow Joey Swole, who he calls all them people that do stuff like that out. I love the guy, but I'm like, I don't want to wind up on some girl's TikTok. Yeah. So I'm like, nah, I'm going to just, you know, keep my head down. And then we both wound up like on machines right next to each other. So I'm like, don't be weird. I was like, hey, how's it going? Well, then like little exchange of words. Come to find out, she was actually taking classes to become a personal trainer. Had a good 45-minute conversation while we were lifting. She was actually like giving me like some diet tips and you know, exercise tips and all that. And
you haven't shared them with me?
I've tried. You just won't go exercise with me.
Yeah, I do like my Xbox. Because again, that's where I go. You know, I go to my gaming and my music. Like I said, like I just drown myself in a whole nother reality, which that's not healthy. Let's be real.
It has its place. I will admit it has its places. Like,
yeah, but as opposed to other things. I will say I would rather play video games than some alternative. What the hell did I just say? Some alternate way of dealing with it, being drugs or substance abuse, just rounded up to everything, abusing something of some form or fashion. So that's where I chalk it up as like, well, I could be doing this. I'm not doing that. I'm sitting here wasting my time on a damn Xbox, which, again, I don't really mess with that. I don't know if you've noticed, Squatch, but like, I don't really mess with that too much unless my friends are on. And the reason being is because I've been trying to get better with my own self-love and my own like mental health of like, okay, I need to limit this. I need to just be productive today. And being productive today, let's break that down real quick. Like, you can be productive today just by making your bed. Like,
that should be the first thing you do every day. It takes 2 seconds to do. And it starts your day off getting things done.
Yes. And if all you do is make your bed that day, guess what? You've done a goal. And build upon that. I have been doing that, and it's worked so many wonders. Rest of my house is kind of crap, but my bed's made. But I'm also hard on myself. Like, we're sitting right now in my game room, like, I really need to sweep and mop in here, No, it's not that bad.
All 5 specks of dirt right over there by the TV.
You shut up. Those 5 specks of dirt are gone after this. Okay? Squatch ruined it for you. They were just over there hanging out. Look at them. They're going to get swept up now because of you. God. Poor dirt, man.
Yeah. I mean, I won't... So, like, I have my reservations about gaming. And I will say part of my reservations on gaming is because I know how addictive it can be. Because when I do get on my Xbox...
It's like you blink in time, fast forwards.
Like, there's only certain games, like...
Tony Hawk's Underground Pro Skater 2.
That game, the game currently that's kept me occupied for a while now, GTA 5, like...
He's lying, it's Fortnite.
I haven't... See, I don't play Fortnite anymore because now my kid plays it on my Xbox.
Oh, so it's you on there.
Yeah.
Ha-ha! Yes. You admit it! I said it's you on there!
Yes, you caught me. I am Noob Master. Now, like, I'll get on GTA 5, and I have a very short attention span with games, but if there happens to be a day where, like, I'm playing online and no one's really messing with me, I'm just doing my thing. Like, I'm playing, it's cool, it's great, and then I'm like, oh my God, I've been on here for 3 hours.
It's even worse whenever you feel like you've been on there for 30 minutes and it's been like 6 or 7 hours. Because when that happens, it's not fun.
Like, I swear the sun was up 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. That's... So, again, with my own thing, which Squatch knows my background a little bit better than most everyone, I was really bad in video games. And this is why I'm saying, like, video games, like, you're absolutely correct. Video games can be very addicting. They can do a lot of things to your life if you let them take precedence over other things that you really should be taking prioritized. But anyway, I would spend... I'm not joking when I say this. I think the longest stretch I played a video game for, and I mean this literally, a singular video game, I played for 3 days straight. And that's not an exaggeration.
I was literally about to do the whole 3 days later.
That's exactly what it was like. And I was living with my dad. A lot of stuff was happening, and I was playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. That's all I did. I played the multiplayer for that game for 3 days straight. And when I say days, I don't mean I slept at night and then got up and played again. No. I mean I played from morning till night, from night till the next morning, played all day, slept maybe a handful of hours, and by handful I mean like 4 or 5, if even that, got back up and continued playing. It was like being like just on a bender for like you're just drinking your life away or whatever other thing. Like it's
Gonna say I had times in my early 20s of doing the same scenario, but with alcohol.
it's not good, and that's why I was saying, like, when you go to find and deal with that situation you're having, it's best that you don't do it via some vice, for obvious reasons. If you do need to reach out for some help, do it. I was gonna say, and this will be a nice little lead up to this, is if you have somebody in your life, like for instance, mine is Squatch, go to them. Like your mom, your brother, your auntie, your mammy, like whoever. Yeah, I just quoted a song there. You know what song? That's right. But it's true. Like, you need to go to them, and if you feel like you can't do it yourself, maybe see if they can sit down and at least talk to you. Because that's another big thing with self-love and mental health and all that kind of stuff is don't always try to face it yourself. It's always good to have someone there, kind of like your coach. Like, you're in the boxing ring, for instance. You got that guy in your corner, right? Am I incorrect for that?
Yeah,
Like, you gotta have that spotter at the weight bench. You gotta have your duo when you're playing your game. You gotta have your buddy there.
Even if you don't realize it, every one of you that listens has someone in your corner.
Oh,
always. And the best thing about having someone in your corner is you may not always feel this, but they would rather you call them to talk about whatever's going on at 3 a.m. than you trying to deal with it yourself and having some kind of a breakdown for it,
Yeah.
Like, I would rather get the phone call at 3 a.m. that you need to talk than the phone call the next morning that you didn't make it through the night because you couldn't handle whatever you were dealing with,
Yeah, and I know this is getting a little bit more serious, more dark, and I'm gonna try to turn it back here. But like, reach out to your Thunder buddy. Like, that's the best thing I can say is like, I want to sing the song, but I don't want to because copyright laws.
Screw you, lightning noise.
Screw
you.
you.
Can suck my appendage. You don't scare me because you're just God's flagellations.
That's so stupid.
But anyone makes it to that point in the episode,
oh,
I
yeah,
guarantee
these
there's
guys
going to be strange looks and laughs.
Well, there's gonna be these guys are freaking idiots, and you would be correct. You are correct, listener. You are correct.
I'm a little fucked up. Do you still love me, buddy?
When you put the emotions back in me, I think you might put them in the wrong spot.
Cancellation, here we come.
I'm about to say, it's gonna end sooner than later. Oh, disclaimer, like we always state, we talk and joke.
We are 32 and 31-year-old, 12-year-olds, okay?
That sounds weird. You should never put those numbers together in any kind of sentence. Don't say that again. We only purely do this out of entertainment, like the joking, the self-love and mental health. That we were serious about that. Like, if you need help, reach out to someone. If it's us,
reach out to us.
I'll say if it's us, leave comment and reach out to us, and we'll talk about it. We'll help you try the best. We'll help you try the best. We'll help you to the best that we can, and if anything, man, like, we can maybe help pull those reins and steer you in a little bit different direction. Because sometimes that's all it needs. I mean, you can take a horse to the water hole, but don't mean you can make him drink. So,
yeah, I mean, anyone dealing with something, you can hit us up on any of our socials, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Message us on there, comment on our post. I mean, literally, I'm not opposed to even, like, reaching out to you, getting your phone number or getting you on Facebook Messenger and calling, doing a video chat with a total stranger to talk about what's going on. Because maybe a total stranger is what you need, because who cares if this guy that I don't know judges me?
I was going to say, the guy that you don't know judges you or gives you some kind of advice that may or may not actually hit close to home, as well as it's a completely unbiased opinion. Like, that's how I always perceive when I, like, for instance, like the stuff I have going on, if I were to go and talk to Billy Bob Thornton down the road. I really just realized that's an actual name of somebody. So, anyway, proceeding. I go talk to the John Doe, right? I'm not going to take exactly what he's saying to heart, but it's going to be nice to hear a completely unbiased outside perspective of what's going on. Because sometimes that's what you need to see what you need to see.
And also sometimes if you're not feeling like the self-love and just kind of in your own dark place, sometimes that reaching out or talking to a total stranger, I can't tell you how many times, like, you know, I've seen situations where someone's in public and, like, I was at the grocery store one day, back when I was working in East Texas, and there was this random guy. He was on the phone with his girlfriend or something, and they were clearly going through like something. And for whatever reason, he got off the phone. He's very distraught, and this old man walks up to him, puts his hand on his shoulder, and like says, "Son, it's gonna be okay. You know, if you want to talk, I'll be here for a while. If you don't want to talk, I'm praying for you." And literally, like, I could see, like, the weight just get lifted off this dude's shoulders, like, because I don't know what he was going through, but he was very distraught. And the fact that a total stranger come up and was just like, "Hey, you know, here's some love."
And I'm not really the religious type, but that sounds like some divine intervention to me. Like that, because exactly what you just described sounds like something from the Bible that would be what Jesus would have done.
I mean, that's literally what Jesus wanted his followers to do.
Like, yes, that's why, like I said, I'm not really religious, but I do know some things. I feel like that's something that he would have done. He would have seen a stranger in need, clearly going through something that is not okay, and just giving that lending, like, and that's this all comes full circle, giving that lending hand, ear, whatever have you, a hug, handshake, whatever it be, you would be completely surprised how that can change somebody's day. Oh. It could even change their life. Like, you don't know. And this vice versa can go for you, meaning if you reach out to someone and you give them that handshake, you give them the option to, like, hey, come talk to me, that within itself might be what you actually need too. Because then that's going to give you perspective on what you're going through and help you try to find some clarification in some way to quell the issues that you're dealing with. So it's just a nice little, it's not nice when I say this, like, vicious circle is not nice, but like, that's how the world goes round, man. Like, you do unto others as you would want to be done to yourself. I mean,
yeah. So, and sometimes, like, I know, like, in the last couple of years, you and me have gone through some very similar things.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of times we both do this. I know I do it for sure. A lot of times, like, I'll be giving you advice through something or giving a random person advice.
Yep.
And I realize as I get done, you know, maybe say talking to you about a relationship problem or whatever.
We've been having a lot of those lately.
Then, you know, I look back afterwards and I'm like, what was I talking to him or was I talking to myself?
Yeah, and that's why I was saying, man, like, it helps on both parties. Like, this man who came up to this other guy who was, like you said, clearly distraught, he had no idea about this guy, but offering him that lending, that helping hand, so to speak, that might have done something for this man too. Like, this older guy might have, like, he knows, he's obviously been around the block or two, like, he's experienced in life, so being able to pass that on to someone else, because I'm a very firm believer. Even if it's something like letting the truck ahead of you take the light instead of you, dude. Those little things are what makes the day better for some people. So, with it being like the self love and the mental health thing, just do the best that you can for yourself. At the same time, don't be harsh to other people. Like don't judge them. Don't do that because
Quote from Gandhi, actually. I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember it exactly.
oh, so it's not a quote.
Well, it's a paraphrase quote from
There
Gandhi.
you go.
Shut up.
Okay.
This is be kind to others, for you do not know the wars that they are facing.
Yeah. Like
You know,
it's
that girl you just snapped on at the grocery store.
yep.
Maybe her husband just left her,
I was gonna
and
say
she's struggling. And
the person who hands you your McDonald's. I mean, man, you don't know what they have going on. Especially, like I know that's the thing that a lot of people do. Just the other day, I witnessed it. I was behind a vehicle. I could hear the guy up there hollering in at the person, and when I got up there, I was like, "I'm sorry for that person ahead of you." I was like, "Just take it with a grain of salt." I was like, "You don't know what kind of day he's had, and I understand you know what kind of day you had." I was like, "But I just want to apologize for them." And the girl, you know, she's a little annoyed and worked up and everything. She just looked at me and says, "Thank you." And I was like, "You're welcome." Like I know it probably wasn't my place to do that, but like, again, it helped her get through the issue she just had. It's something so simple, man.
so, like, I feel like kindness, love, all that is much like it refers to faith in the Bible. And like it says, like, faith the size of a mustard seed can move mountains. That little bit of kindness, that little bit of just being good to another person,
Yep.
you know, send someone like over the moon happy. Like, things like that in public. I mean, I can't tell you. I mean, my God, the fast food Karens of the world.
Yeah. And like I wasn't saying that to be picking on like the fast food Karens, but I'm just saying like don't be that a-hole out there who's throwing a god dang temper tantrum of a 3-year-old. Yeah, they got your order wrong. Guess what? At your job, have you drove that nail in wrong before? Yes. Have you filed the wrong paper? Yes. It all happens, man.
We all screw up to some extent, you know. It just screwing up is part of life.
Now, the only time you can get mad at that person handing your food is if you go there pretty regularly and they keep doing it. Because at that point, they don't like you. Now you can say something.
Well, if you keep going and they keep messing up your food, at that point, I feel like it's your fault for keep going there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, or maybe it's the establishment for having a handy. What word can I use here to describe this person doesn't need to be working there anymore? They don't need to be working there no more. As simple as that. Like, you're right.
incompetent.
There you go. There you go. There's an incompetent person that does not need to be there anymore. But it could be like your favorite fast food place, man. You never know. It could be your favorite little dive bar. You know, like it's just one of those things. Like, it happens at the same time. What I'm learning to do myself is letting go of the things I have no control over. Stop holding on to it. Like you gotta find that way to let that go.
That is the hardest part in it, because like the things you can change,
It's
great. You can change those.
It's so challenging, man. Like we were talking about before this episode, man. I am trying my best to be better all around in all aspects. This is probably the most challenging thing I've had to do my entire life. Next to waking up in the morning. Nobody likes to wake up in the morning. That wasn't a joke about like dying or like, oh, I gotta live the day. No, it's like I don't want to get out of bed. Like that's the most challenging thing. So I don't know.
Yeah, but there again, that getting out of bed in the morning, that's your first victory right there.
Oh yeah, you know, make your bed is your big war that you got to fight. Make your bed, people.
Life is about life and self-love. It's about stacking victories.
I just told a lot of people to make their beds.
Listen to Daddy Yeti. Make your bed.
Daddy Yeti. Never again shall you say that. That is god awful. Ugh. Oh, that sounded. Ugh.
You're gonna think about that later. Don't lie.
No, that just gave me the ick. I'm good. Yeah, sorry for that.
Listen,
Really?
I can't talk about this on the podcast, but you know what my day consisted of. I don't want to hear about the ick.
Yes, sir. Squatch took a big W for me.
Yeah, things you do for your brother, man.
Yeah.
But
But I won't do that.
I get it. You want some meatloaf, man.
I'm about to say, please tell me.
Please tell me you got it.
Of course, I got the meatloaf reference.
I've been referencing all kinds of stuff tonight. I had Thrift Shop from Malcolmore. I had Meatloaf just now. Jeebus. What's next? Those are two very different spectrums of music, by the way. Oh, lordy lord.
I just wanted to interject a line from like a High School Musical song to really throw it off, but I
Please
don't know those.
Don't do that. You could probably make one up and it's in a movie somewhere.
Probably.
But back on topic.
What's a topic?
Apparently, we don't believe in those. Like we come into this like, oh man, we got a topic today, and then we start doing this. That's okay. I'm having fun. Listeners are having fun. That's all this is about. It's about having
Y'all better
fun.
be having fun.
It's about having fun, helping each other, and yeah, getting through the days, man. Getting through the days. I want to say I'm not. Are we closing it out?
Nah, man.
Okay, I'm about to say I don't want this to sound like I'm closing it out. I want to say thank you to everybody who is listening, and to this commenter who left a comment. We received it loud and clear. It's obvious we received it. Made a whole episode about you, which take that as a little bit of self-love right there, man. Like
You matter enough that
yeah, like you got two random people to make however long this session will be into a full-blown conversation for you and for others of like mind. And we're definitely going to do our best. Like again, I'm going to say we're new to this, but I feel like we're doing a pretty good job. May or may not be. That's for them to decide. Don't give up. Like you're doing good. You're everything you got going on. You're doing good. Just like Squatch over there, he's doing everything. He's doing good. Myself,
yeah, most days.
Don't be saying that. You can't. I'm sitting here being like, you're doing good, guys, and you're like, most days. Most days I'm doing good.
I am at the point where I can be honest with myself, though.
I guess.
Most of the time.
Would you stop that? You keep contradicting yourself, like, instantly. I'm going to bring out Kermit the Frog. Yeah, you don't want me to do it. Yeah, when you're goofy. And I'm not going to do the frog much longer. That's taxing. That's a taxing voice because I'm trying not to laugh. Maybe one day I'll do a whole for Halloween. For Halloween, if we make it that far, I will do an entire session as best as I can in my Kermit the Frog impersonation. Dear Lord, help me. And everybody who may or may not be listening. There's a little bit of self-love right there for people. Keep this going, and you'll have me doing a Kermit the Frog voice on Halloween. I need to get Miss Piggy.
I mean, y'all really help us blow this up. We can do that on a Facebook Live, too.
Oh, that would be... No.
Paint you green.
No. That'd be one hairy frog, man. The term finer than frog hair would definitely not be me. More like a toad with a Brillo pad wrapped around it.
But no, like, I know you say I contradict myself, and I think for me personally, and there may be some listeners out there that need this too, sometimes you kind of got to be like
Brutally
your
honest.
own coach.
Yeah.
You know, like you watch coaches on the sidelines, you know, that one coach that's like, you know, hey, you're doing great, keep it up. But sometimes that coach, you know, that's over there, get your ass up and
You
go.
just
And
censor yourself.
I was trying not to drop the F-bomb.
Okay, you can use another word.
Well, it made. Listen, I'm doing a thing right now, okay?
Okay.
Where
Sorry.
he's like, get your ass up, get out there. You can do better than that. That cliche old, like,
Tough love.
400-pound coach with a mouth full of dip screaming at you. And you know what?
Did we have one of those here?
We probably had a few of them. But you know what? If you watch enough, like, football, basketball, all that coach 9 times out of 10 is bringing home championships.
Yeah, that is true.
And there half the players may hate him, but those ones that need that kind of coaching at the end of their, high school sport career, they love that guy.
Well, it's also like a fine gray line because it's like the pressure makes diamonds type thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, pressure also causes rubble. So, just going to toss that in there.
You definitely got to figure out what kind of person you are.
Yes.
And I know there's a lot of controversy with the guy. But
Are you name dropping again?
yes, I am.
Okay. Here we go.
But there are times like, okay, David Goggins comes up with some
I knew it.
off the wall stuff. Like, I mean, he's like, there's hardcore and there's him.
I don't
But-
think he's from this planet. Let's be honest.
No, like,
There's no way that man is a man. Like, I'm pretty sure there's some.
He was made in a lab. He was the original Captain America.
I
okay?
think he's the original. What's the bionic man? You make him better,
$1 Million
faster.
Man.
There you go. That thing. Make him better, faster, stronger.
But if you watch like the way he talks to himself, like, and how he talks about how he kind of conquered his health and all that. I mean, he's brutal. But sometimes I know myself. Every now and then, I've got to be brutal. Like, I catch myself. I don't go to the gym for a few days or whatever, and then a few days turns into a week.
You just hear David Goggins in your head.
And
Is that what
I'm
you're saying?
Not necessarily, not the whole.
No,
who's going to carry the
not
boats
what-
thing? He always does.
I'm not saying him particularly. I'm just saying like there's a David Goggins like in your head, like a version of you that's like
the version of me that is like, get up off of your lazy ass and go
Yeah.
do what you're supposed to do.
yeah, gotcha. I don't have that
And-
voice.
Some people don't. I think a lot of people, because we have like really, really soft parenting nowadays, and like
Yeah.
everyone's like, you just like they talk about how you talk to yourself, self-talk, whatever. And I know you have to find a way to be your own biggest fan for sure. You have to love yourself. But like I talk about the things you can and can't change, the things that you can change about yourself that maybe make you not love yourself or whatever. If you can honestly be like, well, I know I can change that and I don't like this about me. I feel like you need to be like, all right, bro, get the hell up. Let's do
you
it.
gotta be a little, put a little pressure on yourself to make those steps and those strides forward to be a better you, to love yourself even more than what you already may or may not do, and it's again, I'm gonna say it's that vicious little circle of like it all comes back around in the end. Sometimes
Circle of life.
I was gonna do like sometimes it matters, sometimes it doesn't. That's a little. In the end, it never even mattered. Okay, yeah, whatever. I'm quoting music today, man. Leave me alone. But it's true
I don't
though.
know
like,
why.
It's true though. You need to love yourself in all forms of fashion. Maybe not be like too incredibly tough on yourself. Like I said, like yes, pressure can make diamonds, but you gotta know when to release some of that pressure so you can get through though, because not everybody. I'm trying to figure out how I can word this. Not everybody can deal with the pressure of even themselves, which I myself, I have said it before, I'm dealing with some stuff, and dude, it's hard. It's really hard. And that's what I was saying. Like you need to get gotta get somebody there to help you if that's becoming a thing. That's why like I go to Squatch to help me with stuff, and it can be as simple as coming over and working on my car. Like the other day,
Yeah.
came over and helped me work on my car, and dude, that's that little bit. You have no idea how helpful that was. Uh, Hell, like if you have a hobby, get into a hobby. That could be another good way to find self love, because
Or better yet, get into that hobby you quit doing.
I would say yeah, like just getting there. That's always been something that I've always been interested in, was getting into new hobbies. I have a hobby right now I'm looking at that I want to get back into, but it's not something you can do alone. It quite literally takes two people to play it. It's a card game. I'm not going to disclose what card I already have before, but go back and listen to the previous episode and you'll know what I'm talking about. Anyway, don't be looking around. Don't look around. You can see it. I don't need to point it out to you.
I was gonna try to find a way to like sneakily say it, but
Don't.
we'll leave it alone.
Thank you.
But I mean, so for me, like, and this is something like I'll do with my son every now and then. We haven't done it in a while because they've been in school and all that. But like, I grew up as a skateboarder, and my big self, granted, like I'm not doing anything crazy anymore, but like, go to the skate park and just cruise around the skate park with my kid. Like,
I was gonna say, go for a drive. Like that's something that helps me, is going for a drive. It's just so relaxing. Going with your kid, though, that's good, because now you're also helping him learn skills in life too. So, for listeners out there who may or may not be parents, that's something that may or may not help you with your self-love. I want to say it will, because you're passing on a life lesson you're actively learning to the next generation. Like, that's awesome. I know the other day when I called you, man, where were you? You weren't at the skate park, were you? Where were you with the kids? You were hiking.
yeah,
You were going on a hike with your loved ones or your friends. Hell, even by yourself.
getting out in nature. Period.
I say,
Best therapy ever.
I used to go up to the school football field here in town, and dude, I'd kick my shoes off, and I would just the whole term "touch grass" has been, I feel like, abused for like gaming and as like a way like, oh, you're trash, you need to go out and touch grass, you're bleh. No, the term for that, like, man, that quite literally is like, you need to get outside and touch grass, is like you need to reconnect, and I guarantee you'll feel something.
So there's a term I've seen
Grounding.
a lot of grounding, like
Grounding.
a lot
Yeah.
of fitness people, a lot of entrepreneurs, because they all push the fitness thing too, but they talk about like grounding for so much, like every day. And if you can't, I mean, I'm not saying your day needs to consist of we go out and we work out at 5 a.m. we go out
No. Yeah,
ground
that's
for 30 minutes, get in the sunlight, but like every now and then, like going out, kicking off your that's why, what does everybody love to do at the beach?
you kick their shoes off.
Kick
man.
your shoes off. You go walk in the sand, walk in the water.
You're reconnecting with, and I think this has been something that's been kind of confirmed by science. I may or may not be true on this. I'm probably most likely not, but I feel like there's a connection, me personally, between human beings and the world. We quite literally came from this planet, and I know you're different with your religion.
Well, I mean, so not really, because I wouldn't say not really different, like, because I mean, they're again, like, as
You trying to find words there, bud?
just trying a way to like not like make it come off preachy, or like not completely cut out the religion part. But okay, so like, God, I believe God created us. He created the earth and all that.
Yeah.
Well, the earth was literally made for all the creatures on here. We are supposed to be a part of it.
True.
That's why, I mean, you've heard me tell you, like, whenever you kind of feeling down the dumps, I'm always like, get your ass outside.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, when I feel depressed or even when I feel sick, like have a fever or something like that, I'll go sit out in the sunlight for a little bit, you know.
So I was gonna say, whenever I had COVID, which that was confirmed, I did have COVID. Dude, I would get up and just walk around my yard with my dog at the time. I miss my pooch. God, I miss my dog. No, not getting another one anytime soon. We'll talk about that later. Going outside when I was probably in one of the worst ailments I've ever had in my life. Going outside, walking around my yard, it sucked. I'm not going to lie. I was having a hell of a time breathing, having a hell of a time just trying to survive. But being outside, getting that sunlight, getting to feel the breeze on me and stuff, just feeling the planet. I kicked my shoes off. I stood out there with my dog. I swear it helped because I did that 3 to 4 times a day with my pooch. I was quarantined to my house, right? I'm sorry, but anybody would go crazy in their house. Getting outside just in my yard completely changed how I felt, and then I realized like I can get through this now. And getting at with this is like that's the whole self-love thing, man, is like I'm not saying like you're sick. I'm saying like you feel so sick, you feel so down that just reconnecting with something that you may have forgotten that you need helps tremendously. Like I said,
I mean, we were meant to be outside, you know, in motion. That's why, like, whenever you feel bad or whatever, you go outside, you go walking around. Like,
yeah,
we are meant to be outside, mobile creatures. You know, I mean, that's why, you know, you look out, and I'm using this as a comparison because, you know, biologically we're very close to, you know, monkeys, things like that. Well, they're outside, they're in nature. What do you
according
see?
to cannibals, we taste like pig. Sorry. Weird.
Calm down, Dahmer.
Just random facts.
Eat the sandwich.
Yeah. God, dang it, dude. That's not what I was going for. I was just, my brain is.
But anyways, you see like
Scatterbrain.
monkeys or any animal in the wild, they're, you know, they're out there, they're touching grass, they're in the sunlight, you know,
Murdering other monkeys.
But do you ever? Okay, well,
Sorry.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
But have you ever seen a depressed monkey in the wild?
Yes. Not
Not the one that just watched his loved monkey get murdered. I mean, like, monkeys out there doing their thing. Like,
I haven't like physically been like in the forest getting them. No.
okay, watching one of them, you know, nature shows. Like, all right, over here we got wild chimpanzees.
I don't know. Have you seen that monkey just sitting next to the rock on the little shorts? That little dude, look, he's fat. He don't look happy, and he's just eating that food.
Well, he's not a mobile monkey. That's why he's fat.
It's still a monkey, like. And not to mention, the monkey lives relatively close to where I'm supposed to be getting hunted by the Soviet Union and the U.S., remember? Just saying. It takes all walks of life, was what I was getting at with that comment, man. Like, it... Sometimes being mobile does help, absolutely. But at the same time, sometimes being stationary and just, like you were saying earlier, being stationary and just trying to make peace with what's going on. Like, those are the things you need to focus on, what works for you. So, it's going to be trial and error. Like,
and it's not always the same thing. I mean,
no.
Like we talked about the self-talk thing. There's days when I'm like, you know, I have to tell myself, or even we talk to each other. Some days we're like, hey, you know, get up and do that. Just go do it. Quit talking about it. Other days it's like, hey, like it's cool, man. Like if you don't got it today, you got it tomorrow.
Yep.
And like I said, you know, you gotta know thyself. And it really helps to have, you know, a community, or at least, you know, a friend, relative, whatever, that knows you in that way. Like,
yeah.
I can't tell you how many times like been talking to you and just like we well, for whatever reason I you I maybe wasn't even reaching out for advice, and for whatever reason, like you said, exactly what I needed, and maybe it was not even what I wanted to hear, but I'm like,
When was this? Because I feel like that happens a lot between the two of us.
I mean, I'm not speaking of one time in particular.
Oh, okay.
It happens. And
I was trying to like narrow it down. I was like, when are you talking about? But okay, yeah, that makes more sense now. I was sitting here like, what? But yeah, thank you. That makes sense.
but through that, it's like, you like you talk about me. You're the guy that I go to with shit.
I'm the guy.
You're the guy.
I'm the guy who comes and saves you during floods. I'm not letting you live that down. I'm never letting you live that down. I told you. I was like, you need a ride home? No, man. I got it. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to, like, make you feel bad. I'm just letting you know. I'm going to say something. Bitch, you learned your lesson.
I mean, did I though? Like,
No, you didn't.
how many times have I tried to help you learn lessons, and we're not going to get into that.
No.
That's a topic for a whole
No.
nother day. Cause
Like the prison cell you would see like in a movie with all the little tally marks. You multiply that by like 5, and that's my marks. So I have issues, don't I?
we all do.
That is true.
Sometimes, more than others, but
Hey, don't let the issues define us. We define the issues. Quoted by Yeti. There you go. What is that?
But I don't know. With that, I just want to say there's no set way to love yourself.
There's
We can
not.
offer you numerous pieces of advice.
Some advice. We can offer you some advice. Oh my lord, man, I can't
Miami
speak today.
Vice.
Yeah, they should get Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Uh-huh.
But
There's a lot you can do in that game to help you.
yeah,
There's
lots
always
of vices in that game.
Oh yeah, you can always turn to someone you know. You can always turn to someone you don't know who's willing to listen. Self-love by going to the gym, making your bed. Something simple as that, man, like that making your bed. I still think that's like the most minute thing you can do to start working on yourself.
I think any kind of self-improvement
Yeah.
it
Really.
helps with the things that you can fix,
Yep.
whether it's education, physical fitness,
There's,
whatever it may be.
but like you're saying, at the end of the day, there is no for sure answer to self-love. You have to trial and error. You have to see what works for you, and then continue forward with those things or thing, and just persevere. Like eventually, you'll get to where you need to be, and through that, your character development will be tremendous for you. And on that note, like, I don't really have much else to say. Like,
Just keep pushing through. Whoever needed to hear this, you got this.
yep, you are good enough.
Reach out to people you know and love, and if you don't have anyone you feel like you can reach out to, you can reach out to your favorite podcaster, Squatch and Yeti. We will
Yep.
message you. We've been through enough struggles that
We laugh about it now.
we laugh about it, and the reason why we talk about this stuff is we want to make sure other people can get through it. So with that being said, we'd like to thank everyone for listening.
I appreciate it.
It
Squatch
means the
appreciate
world
it.
to us.
English not my 7th language, apparently.
Porky the Pig here, he appreciates it.
That's all, folks.
But anyways, thank you for listening. We will catch you on the next episode. Follow us. We're on Instagram and Facebook now. listen to us on Spotify Music and Amazon Music.
Oh, we got on Amazon, didn't we?
Yes, we are on Amazon too.
Did you tell me that last time? Because I don't remember.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Sorry, my co-host here, Dory, is a little forgetful.
What are we talking about?
Anyways, thank y'all for listening.
P. Sherman
It's been
42 all the way to
fun.
Sydney.
It's been great.
P.
We'll
Sherman
see y'all.
42 all the way Sydney.
See y'all in the next one.